perfect place to be, Fragaboom!
Yo, what is happening? You are watching day 30 of Couchdoodles Live. I can't believe we've only got today and tomorrow left for the Inktober version. What's gonna happen in November? I don't even know. I haven't planned that far. What I did plan on was checking in on what today's word is. And today's word is catch. There's a lot of options we could take. We could have catching something, catching a break, catching a rabbit, catching a fish, catching a softball, catch 22, someone named Catch, I don't know, catch you later. So, I'm gonna turn down the computer as I always do. It always feels loud to me. There we go. We're back in. So today I decided on a slightly closer angle. Sometimes it's farther, sometimes it's closer. This chair sits kind of low, so it's a little funky to get the angle I want. But you know, eventually what's going to happen is the channel grows and things chill out, and by chill out I mean my deadlines sort of subside a little bit. There's a bigger area out there that I plan on converting and possibly loading my books. It all depends on a bunch of different factors. I'm gonna load you guys up and see who's in the house as we do about this time. Today's been a good day. Did a little bit of Doom Patrol, a lot of He-Man today. It was very productive, and a page that I really thought might be a very difficult one for me has proven to be a lot of fun. Not difficult, but just fun. Still a challenge, but a lot of fun nonetheless. What up, Chauncey? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining. Number one, you're the man. So like I said, today's word of the day is catch. We're going to be checking that out, possibly looking at some more comics and things. Bang, 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 day 30, that's right. We only have 2 days left, today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's word is ripe. That could mean a lot of things too. Ripe fruit, ripe for the picking, ripe smelling, someone who smells bad. A zombie could be ripe. Ripe here, right now. That was horrible. That was a dad joke. You can tell I've been working hard today when I come up with the slow fun. How are you guys doing today? Today is Wednesday. It's new comic day. Anything good come out? I wasn't able to make it to the store. I've been tied to that desk right over there. You'll see. I'll show you my setup so you can see what it looks like. So that's it right there, man. When I work on the computer, I work on that Cintiq up top. When I work on the iPad, I work on that little lap board with the iPad there. You can see my scripts and things and dusters and tissue paper and the like. And then over here we got all the IDW books. I even got some how to draw books in there. Jack Kirby, John Buscema, drawing from life. All the good stuff. But I'll tell you what, like 99% of my books are still in the storage room here. So a lot of the stuff that I'd like to go through, thank goodness I have it digitally on my iPad. I think that's sort of the saving grace. And one of the reasons I encourage people to get an iPad, and I don't recommend working digitally exclusively. I just recommend it for jobs on the go, using it as a tool. Like I said, I use Pinterest a lot. I access those books quite often. So today's word being catch. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. What's up? What's up, Andrew J? Jason, what's up? Underground Comics, hello. It's good to see you. Why does it say live stream offline? That's a little bit early for the stream to be going offline like that. Hopefully, we will be back and online. It's kind of strange that that happens. Let's see. Let's see if you guys see it. Stream down. Nope, here it came back. It came back. The stream is back. What's up, Jason Moore? How are you doing, Inker Supreme? It's good to see you, dude. In fact, I just thought of you. Like the other day, I saw this Skeletor piece you had inked, and I was thinking, I wonder what that dude's up to. And then, like magic, the universe, here you are. I hope you're doing good, man. When was the last time we saw each other? Was it Detroit or after that? I don't remember. Stuff's a blur. Days like today where I've been, you know, that's the weird thing that I try to explain to people when you're doing comic books and especially storyboards, because storyboards you're moving a lot faster than comics. I could essentially be in a closet. I mean, this room is pretty small. I think it's maybe the second smallest room in the house, next to one of the upstairs bathrooms, which is like a toilet and a sink. How many sides is this at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got 7 sides. It's a weird thing. So it's not quite an octagonal room. It's not the octagon. It's got a very strange shape. But it's a small room. You might know, but Crypto Comics did a brief reading of those Asylum issues you posted today. I did not know that. That's crazy. Did they do it? Was it just like a synchronicity thing? Because one of the things I was thinking about today and what made me want to pull those up is I remember drawing that Raiden shot where he's doing this and he's got the sword, and I couldn't for the life of me remember which Black Flag issue it was in. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I had started this story for Black Seed in Asylum, and it involved this villain called Techno Wolf. This was 1995-96, so you know, you gotta remember the internet was new and whatever. I mean, being 23 years ago, he was cool, and it was the first time I had drawn Sniper in something other than the beret. I drew him in a ball cap. I was trying out some different looks, but ultimately that story never got completed. It was just those 4 pages and a cover, and then I do believe the cover of the next issue was a Black Seed cover with geisha and some grapes and things. That was honestly, I don't even recall what it was. I don't remember where I was going with the Techno Wolf thing, but one of the things I remember is that he being Raiden has this visionary sword, and he consults this cauldron of gems called the Granacata gems, and you know how when you take magnets they can stick to each other or kind of repel each other. Well, imagine if that's like the most primitive idea of energy interaction, but the Granacata gems, when they interact, and depending on like the combinations of what gems you put and what order, it will give you a different portal effect. So I know I was exploring the idea of the Granacata gems in that story, but anyway, that was the impetus of pulling those up. It was in fact, I didn't even remember what the book was called. I thought it was like Maximum Press Presents or something like that. And then what I did was I went to Read Comics Online, searched Maximum Press, and Asylum was the first title, and I was like, that looks familiar. So that's how I found those pages. I don't even think I have one. What up, Mr. Green? Oh, okay. Maybe Chauncey, maybe Crypto saw it and thought that would be fun. Comic Vantage, how are you, sir? I hope you're doing well. Let's see, how many people? We got 14 people. How is the day? Mr. D. Oods, thank you so much. I want to know about your day too, see how your dad's feeling, see how that's going today, because I know that's an ordeal. So, thinking about you today as well. Today has been crazy, you know. I had to get up extra. I mean, this is all like whatever stuff, if you guys care. Woke up early because it was pumpkin carving day in Harrison's kindergarten class today. So we had to go early, about 20 minutes earlier than usual, and I sat in with him and helped him carve a pumpkin in his class. Got home, had a Doom Patrol meeting with my director, jumped right into this page of He-Man, which it was one of the pages that sometimes when I do layouts, depending on what's going on in my house, like if it gets chaotic, I kind of rush through the layout, so there's more of composition and ideas there, more so than structure. And there were probably 4 or 5 pages like that in this new issue, and I hit one today, and I remember looking at it going, oh shit, this one's going to be kind of hard. But it's been going great. It's been going good. I mean, it's characters. Some of the characters I've drawn, some of them I haven't. This iteration of one of the characters I hadn't drawn before, so it was very, very interesting drawing him. I can give a little peek. I guess his name is King Hiss. He's from the Masters of the Universe, the 2000 series. And I guess when he gets real mad, he tears his skin off and he becomes this like 8-snaked character. And that was, like I said, I thought it was going to be harder than it was, but it went quite well today. What else happened? That's about it. I mean, check this out, man. I'm still wearing the same clothes I was wearing yesterday. That tells you how it goes. And thank God or whatever the universe that is out there. And I say that, and I don't try to push my beliefs on anybody, but I will say this as far as something I do believe. There have been too many things in my life that could have gone sour or felt like the worst thing in the world happened, that all those things ultimately turned into the gigantic blessings or lessons too many times, and too many things coming through at just the right time. And when I say too many times, I don't mean 3 or 4, I mean like 50, 60. And I'm saying like, oh my gosh, this totally could have gone the other way. And then not just bad things, good things too. So I believe that there is some sort of something out there. But anyway, I'm grateful for the fact that I can work in my underwear if I wanted to. I don't. Get that picture out of your head. I don't. But I can rock these, you know, they call them light sweats, man, but they're essentially pajama bottoms, you know? They're super comfy. They're warmer than they should be. But anyway, today has been that day. The wife made some fantastic fried pork chops and baked roasted carrots. I cooked some salmon for lunch, trying to get my health on. Next year is going to be big, and I got to be in better shape. So let's see what else. I'm glad your dad's doing well, D, or he had a good day. You know, like I said, there is my stepmother's is it's happening with my stepmother right now, and it's a combination of things. It's Alzheimer's, it's dementia, and there was something else, but I know I mean it's not good. I've already lost my mother, so my stepmother was, you know, the principal female who raised me day to day from the ages of 5 to 12. So I mostly think about my brothers. They're my brothers. They're my half brothers, but they're my brothers. some people try to distinguish, but it's their mother. And I think about my dad, who's been married with her for 41 years. And anyway, I don't mean to make this about me. I'm just saying I have a small tiny understanding. Let's see what's going on. I saw some questions. Is there any way to release any unreleased art, be it comic or otherwise, in the future? Yeah. What I plan on doing is finding some of those things. The other thing I wanted to do too, because I've mentioned this in previous streams. What's up, Andre? Andre, I'm so glad you're here, man. I was going through some old Prophet stuff, and dude, my favorite Stephen Platt cover of all time was colored by you, Andre. That variant covered issue 4 where he's like this, and anyway, I have it over there. I'll pull it up. But Andre, dude, good times. So the thing I was gonna say is I take my whole career I've taken great steps to document as much of it as I can. I make photocopies of layouts if I have them. I make photocopies of the pencils, sometimes the inks, and I managed to make a PDF of the first 3 issues of Bloodstrike, some Kid Supreme, my Wolverine issues, my Black Panther issue, issues if you want to count the layouts and the 3 pages that I had done before I got canned. Some Weapon X, which has never come out, the Superman, which has never come out, and also once I have to get permissions, but I also am thinking about putting out a storyboard book where I get like a bunch of the boards I've done over time, especially for the TV shows and movies. And some of the commercials I've done are pretty memorable. I've done a couple Super Bowl commercials, and I've got a Pepsi commercial. Yo, what up, Adelso? Adelso Corona, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys have been checking out his work on Bloodshot over Brett Booth. You need to follow him on Twitter. He posts and Instagram and YouTube if you're on YouTube. Adelso, I'm not sure if you are, but Adelso posts his process, and you'll quickly see why he's my favorite inker. And yes, I will say it publicly, I enjoy your work more than Scott Williams' work, and that's the damn truth. Adelso is inking Black Flag, so you guys give him a warm welcome. And let's see, Matt Yackey's in the house. My goodness, we got 3 Black Flag team members. That's great. That feels good. Let's see. I gotta ink a pinup or something of yours on Masters of the Universe. Really anxious to see what you're doing on that title, Mr. Moore. We'll see. I know everything creatively has to go through like multiple processes. It's one of the few frustrations I have on the book. I don't have a lot of frustrations, but one of them is the stringent approval process, like layouts, pencils, inks, colors, script, who's working on it, where you post things. All these things are under a tight niche thing. So I will ask Mike McAllister, who's my editor, if that could be possible, because I like what you do, and I know you're a He-Man fan. And as far as posting some things, once the book comes out, I will on this show, once the book comes out and we give it a week breather, say maybe November 27th or so, I will show you my layouts. I'll show you the layout process. I'll show you the pencils. I can show you my inks. I can show you Rich's inks over my pencils, which were much looser on issue 1 because I thought I was inking myself. So you'll see some of that process. Once issue 2 comes out, I'll share some of that with you as well. Let's see. What's up, Kevlar? How are you, dude? Dealing with dementia. Hey, y'all, dealing with dementia while taking care of my mom. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's one of those things. I've witnessed it in person now twice. The first person I saw it happen to is my grandfather. Emmett Ryan, the guy who I dedicated the grave to. He's the guy who taught me how to draw. He bought me some of my first comic book back issues. He's the guy who bought me my How to Draw Comics in Marvel Way. I mean, his house has been immortalized. I put his house in Kid Supreme. It's the house in the grave. Anyway, he passed away in 2014 at 97 years old, so he lived a very rich life. But right around when he hit 93 or so, those things started kicking in, and I would have conversations, and I would see, by giant percentages, how much of him was there and how much wasn't, and it's not a way to go. That's what I'm saying. So again, just a lot of love, and I mean, there's a helplessness that is out there, but just know that there's strength in numbers, I suppose. Let's see. Miss Prophet, what do you think of Brandon Graham's Prophet run? Drawn Sword. I haven't seen it. I know it was good. I heard it had like a very European vibe to it. I saw some images from it. It's like Space Prophet. I can't even give you an honest assessment because I haven't read it, but it looked cool. What up, Akuma? I'd love to have a collection of your non-comic art in the Moleskine books you have done, but looking forward to what I can get my hands on. That's a good idea too. I didn't think about that. I have all of the stuff I had done on the Moleskine, all of the daily sketches I did in 2015 and 16, all the stuff I have now. I have it all documented. So I'm maybe what I need to do is some art books or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how to go about doing it. Maybe we do a crowdfund on that, keep it low, because I mean, something like that, it would literally just be the art direction, the printing, and the shipping. So I can keep the goal kind of low, and maybe add some perks. You know, I still have a lot of the sketches left. The Moleskine, I would really love to make a 1-for-1 reproduction of it. I don't know how to go about doing it without taking it apart, or perhaps scanning it, you know, one at a time. And I don't know. That one's a tough one. Let's see. See if I missed anything. I don't think I did. In the glass today is a Pinot Noir. And I'm not trying to put my lady on blast, but the other day I couldn't get out, and she asked me if I needed anything, and I said, yes, I need beets, blueberries, and 2 bottles of wine. And she was kind enough to bring back a box of wine, which is 4 bottles in one. The only problem I have with those is sometimes the sulfites are high and the headaches get up there too, so we'll find out. I'm just having 1 glass. We'll see how I feel by the end of this thing. If at the end of this thing I look like I'm more tense than usual, and then when I do this, it's because I can't see shit. I'm looking into your eyes. See how the camera's closer today? I thought I might try that out. You know? And you can also tell my deadlines by how long my face and hair are getting. That's okay. Oh, box wine. Rooster Puncher. You guys, I wanted to say something really, really cool. The very first ad for Black Flag is going to show up in one of Rooster Puncher's comics. I can show you the color version of the ad, but he has the black and white one running. He offered it to me to put in the book. Very kind and generous for him to do that. This is what it looks like, and you're gonna see some of these popping up in the future on social media and such. I'm gonna slowly start leaking things while I work on He-Man. I'm a multitasking guy. My nickname when I was working at Mattel was the Swiss Army knife, and the reason for that is, they say jack of all trades, master of none. I would call myself jack of all trades, master of some. So I can draw pretty well. I can direct really well. I can edit pretty well. I can make music okay. I can host the show okay. The great thing of being able to do that is, let's say I had a little time in between stuff. I can work on layouts for Black Flag, or I can work on the campaign, or I can work on editing the videos, or I can work on doing something with the green screen for next month. Most of the time, my day is never just one of those things. Usually it's about 2 or 3 of those things. One of the things I had to deal with today is backing up that other computer. I showed you that green haze around it, and the old Time Machine drive was something like 3 gigabytes short of being able to do it, so I had to get another drive to back it up. So that was happening too. So I don't know if that's even important, but multitask. Leg kick. I'm not sure if I got your email. It may have showed up in other. I end up having the comic shop I go to. The guy who owns the shop, Andy, he wanted to set up the signing for next month for He-Man, and I walked in the shop. He's like, "Hey man, I sent you an email like a week ago. Which day do you want to do it?" I'm like, I didn't get your email, and he said, "I sent it to you on Facebook." A lot of times it goes to that other email which I didn't check, so I'm gonna make sure to check it because I would like that to be able to come up there in June, go to Washington. They asked to send you over what you need to come to Washington, and they will evaluate. They seem excited hearing that I am interested. Yeah, dude, my going to a show is pretty simple. There are certain things, like if there are some places that have me come and do seminars, and when I do the seminar, I end up charging a fee because I don't want to set precedences. But to have me just come out and appear and sign, the terms are pretty simple. It's fly me out, fly me home, put me up, buy me dinner. Just make it easy for me to get there. I'm not looking for anything extra. Just make it easy for me to get there and back. That's how it goes. Let's see. Adelso, man, that what I mean. Maybe it's a compliment, but it's the truth. The thing I talk about, what makes me get excited for art, and one of the things that I haven't mentioned but can mention is it's called unpredictability, right? And what I mean by that is, the reason I was a huge Todd McFarlane fan is every time he drew somebody that he hadn't drawn before, whether it was a Spider-Man villain or an X-Men, or even inking Liefeld on the New Mutants covers or the X Factor cover, it was always a surprise and it was unexpected. I really enjoyed that sort of thing. Or, whenever Michael Golden would come out with something, it was unexpected, or Sam Keith, that sort of thing. That's how, Adele, so that's how I feel about your stuff. Is it's always good, and it's always a surprise, and there's no formula to it. And it's solid, but it's alive. Where a lot of the guys, and I'm not knocking Scott, because Scott, he's an all-time legend. Him, Dane Mickey, Klaus Janson, Dick Giordano. We can go on and on about the greats, and you're up there. But Scott, his stuff feels very machine to me. It's very clean and crispy, but it's very machine. Where your stuff is bouncy and alive like a hip hop song. And thank you, by the way, that Benny the Butcher, the one with the Statue of Liberty as guns. I like that album. Not a huge fan of the lyrical content, but man, a bob in my head. I enjoyed it, so thank you very much. Let's see what we got. As an artist, you feel the direction of editors sometimes don't feel as creative or innovative as an original idea that got rejected. Jason, I'm trying to understand your question. Do you feel the direction that sometimes don't feel as creative or innovative as an original idea that got rejected? I'm going to address something as far as editors. Okay, the role of editors, I feel, has changed a lot over the years, even since I was working in comics and even before. Back in the day, and I'm going to name some names as far as super editors. I'm going to call them super editors, and if I leave anybody out, it's because I didn't know them personally. I can tell you, I know Archie Goodwin was loved. I know Mark Grunwald was loved. I want to talk about the editors that I know about that were solid dudes. Bob Harris was a solid dude. Carl Potts is a very solid dude. Mike Carlin, very solid dude. And the reason I bring these guys up is they were cultivators. They didn't just say, here's the schedule, here's the budget, here's your approvals, are you on time, here's some paper, here's your, like, they're not just keeping track and keeping the train running on time. And that's kind of the role of an editor now. But back in the day, guys like Carl Potts, like for example, Carl helped shape guys like Jim Lee and Will Spertasio and Scott Williams. He would put things in front of them and say, hey, you need to check out this 5 C's of cinematography book, Jim. Or, hey, have you looked at Kevin Nolan? Check this out. Check out Mike Mignola. Carl was there whispering in Jim's ear and giving him materials to look at to better himself. And Mike Carlin did the same thing back when Mike was Rob Liefeld's editor. He was giving Rob stuff. And one of the things that isn't common knowledge is that Jim Lee had copies of the Weapon X black and whites, the pencils and inks of Weapon X by Barry Smith before they ever came out. So he was able to see that sort of rendering technique and kind of assign it to his toolbox, which was, you know, a big plus for Jim. But those editors are very, very much responsible for that. And same like Jim Salas-Cribb, I'm going to throw him in there too, Ann Nesenti. Anybody that is making recipes, you know, they're not just getting a creative team because they're available and do timely work. They're going, peanut butter, chocolate, let's try that. You know, that really good editors do that. As far as like good ideas being rejected, it's so subjective as to who's reviewing your idea that just the thought that someone as creative and imaginative as J.K. Rowling could have the first Harry Potter rejected over 40 times. I think it's like 43 times, 47. It's over 40. But rejected Harry Potter, that $1 billion franchise, all the movies, toys, books, marketing, you know, all the merch, the amusement park, all that stuff was rejected over 40 times. So I don't know how to really address that, you know. I know, you know, The Grave was essentially not rejected, but ignored by Image. But I found out it's because I went through the wrong channels. I went through the right channels. It got rejected, basically, and if I would have just called up, like Todd McFarlane, he said I would have just had it, which is just strange, you know. I guess friends, you know. One of the things, I'm going to go over here and grab it real quick, show you this this book I picked up. My buddy Christian hooked me up with it, but I'm waiting until Friday. Can you see this? Amazing Heroes 2, and it's got this goofy Canadian left-handed dude on the cover. But it says Todd McFarlane interview continued, so I wasn't even able to start it because I realized it was part 2 of an interview. So I went on Amazon and found a lovely copy of issue 1, and I'm going to give it a read, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. You know, sometimes I feel like my channel goes all over the place. It feels a little scatterbrained, but hopefully you guys like it. It's just basically a journey inside my head. Let's see what else do we have. I sent Walden Wong. That'd be good. Walden's in California if I remember correctly, so he'd be a quick thing. Let's see. Jason, have a good one, man. Be well, dude. It doesn't make comics sound like an exclusive club at all. Yeah, no, exactly, dude. That's, like, to me, that seemed, yeah, I didn't know how to take it, but nonetheless, Black Flag is not an Image, and it won't be an Image. And that's just how it is. I reached out to a couple people today in regard to doing some more Black Flag pieces. I reached out to Dan Panosian. Dan Panosian gave me a yes. He had done one of the pinups in the original black and white. It's a gorilla in a smoking jacket sitting in a library with a bunch of other monkeys crawling all over him. One of my favorite pieces. So I talked to Dan, and Dan said, heck yes. I sent a text to Stephen Platt. I have not heard back from him, but the last time I spoke with him, he was jet-setting back and forth between Los Angeles and China because he's directing a movie and his crew is in China. So it's an animated thing. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but that's what he's doing. So getting a hold of him is going to be kind of tough. But I had a fun time this morning when I went down little bit down memory lane, and I was going down my Prophet comics. As we know, Stephen Platt started with the cover of issue 4. Issue 5 is arguably the best issue, but I realized there was one in there. I think it was issue 9 that was Extreme Sacrifice. It came polybagged with a trading card. That one is really damn good. But also tons of Andre Kromov colors on those covers and interiors. And like I was saying to Andre when we first started up the stream, that number 4 cover is my favorite one of the bunch. Even though it's I saw it on Comic Swipes. It's a lift of a Sam Keith logo cover, but I still love it. I love it, you know. Let's see. Oh, I see. I got an email from Tim Seeley, something about colors. I have to take a look. Mr. Yaki, have you sent colors? Because it looks like that might be happening. I don't know. Let's see. Thanks for answering my inquiries. I gotta go feed the human host. Peace. Yeah, your euphemisms are great, man. What are you having, man? Because a lot of the times you'd be dropping all kinds of things. Chicken Alfredo and kielbasa with peppers and onions and stuff. I want to know. You know, I think you ask how did I know you were going to ask about Platt. It's in the air, man. It's in the air. Steve, I can say, was a major influence on me, and a major influence on Black Flag. In fact, it's a little known fact that on the cover of number 1 had his assistance on it. That's right. You heard it first. While I was working on the layouts, I asked him how I could pump it up, and he threw a couple of lines in there to give it a little more energy. So Stephen Platt's DNA is in Black Flag, and we had a lot of similar trademarks. A lot of it was just his influence. So I have nothing but great love for the man. Wish he was drawing some more stuff, and like I said, I asked if he would do it. So we'll hear back from him soon enough to see if he's going to be able to do it. I told him it didn't need to be finished until March, because the campaign is probably going to either start in February or March. I'd like to have his piece. If not, hopefully we'll get something for the series. I still don't know what I want to do, because a couple of you guys were kind enough to put some comments in the comment section of yesterday's video regarding the format, and thinking that individual issues would be more expensive on shipping. Perhaps, again, there's a lot of moving parts, because one of the things, there's a series of perks that are going to come along with the book. It'll get shipped. It's kind of like an algebra problem, right? So if I do it smaller issues, then the cost of it, not money cost, is that there's more instances of shipping, right? I do more pages and do, let's say, a complete story, more pages. Shipping is now reduced down, but now I have the page rates that, like I said, all I care about is breaking even. So much so that I'll even take a hit on my own page rate to make sure that we meet our goal. But if it's like let's call it a 64 page story. Like, I have different versions of it. I'd rather do the full shebang that's like 100 pages. But when you take how much a page costs to produce, and that's before the printing, that's before delivery, that's before fulfillment, before all, the tax man takes their cut, before the crowdfunding takes their cut, it ends up becoming a big ask. And some guys can get away with it. They ask way less than what they need, and they end up surpassing their goal, and then they make the mark. That's why I will continue to use consultation. I have a couple guys that are crowdfunding experts, and also talking to some other people that have been in the trenches, like Billy Tucci and guys like that, just to see what they did, because it's still kind of Wild West out there. So it's undetermined, and then going back to the other thing, there's a plus to the cliffhangers. To have the cliffhanger, I feel like it's more powerful in the, like, I don't know, when you're a little kid and at the end of Empire Strikes Back, your jaw's on the floor and you're like, oh my God, and you can't wait for the next installment. But imagine, and this is for all the old people that witnessed it firsthand, imagine that it was like it is now. Oh, I just saw it. What's going to happen? Let me pop in the next Blu-ray, or let me get my next VOD. Oh, that's satisfied 5 minutes after. I don't know. Pluses and minuses. Again, I'd like to figure it out. Let's see. 90s are coming back. For sure they are. For sure. Matt Yaki sent them a few hours ago. Well, this is the first time they're sending it to us, because last issue I saw the one page you sent me, and that was it. So that's weird. Anyway, whatever. Crowdfund the whole thing and bust it down into single issue post campaign with Alterna. There's something to that too. I don't know what I want to do quite yet, other than that it's going to get produced, and three of the four creators sorry, 3 of the 5, because Will Perdomo, he's in there writing it with me, and he's pushing a lot of the concepts and helping me betterfy them. So there's Will, you guys know Matt Yackey, Adelso Corona's in the house, and then another major key component is Kim Brusnak, who is an incredible letterer. He lettered all of Howard Chaykin's stuff. If you like American flag, then you're a fan of Ken Brusnak. He also did all the Punishers back in the day, like the ones that Will Spertasio drew. He's not just a letterer. He is an artist, and he collaborates on pages and makes the lettering part of the artwork, and that's why we're getting the lettering done on the board. It's not computerized lettering, it's hand lettering on the board, and I'm paying like an extra, I think, $5 a page so we can have it like that. And again, without giving up too much of the thing of Black Flag, I want it to feel as much like a comic book as possible. And you've heard me talk about comic books being comic books. I am going pure on it. That's why newsprint might be the way. The only hesitation I have is Black Flag was never on newsprint. So, I don't know. It was on that flat paper in the black and white, which is paper I like, but that's another conversation, I suppose. Just got out of work and rushed home so I can catch some of this Fragaboom cast. Thank you, Anthony. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. What up, Mitchell? How are you, sir? Let's see. So we are 47 minutes in. Today's word of the day is catch. And I'm sorry, you see me going, duh, like Frozen. That's me and the dumb, like a dog that sees a squirrel, like, locked in on it. I'm running, like, a bunch of different scenarios of catch in my head, and one of them that is popping up seems like a good prospect. Again, like, the thing that's fun, when I worked at Mattel, a lot of the stuff we would do is brainstorm. And the thing about a brainstorm is we never use the word no. It was always yes and that's kind of, I guess it's a thing that they use in improv, but like we would take something like what are things about electricity, because we had one called Electrified, and what are things about electricity and blah blah blah, and we would literally spend like 10 minutes on an idea. So like that's why when you see me going, oh, catch, let's see. How do we do this? And you know what? Before I get into drawing, I want to tell you guys about some of the things I'd like to share with you as far as skill sets and things. I'm very grateful for the fact that I worked at Mattel, because I got to get an education for 5.5 years on how major corporations do rollouts on things, successful or not. But as far as getting an ideation and getting like sometimes like a crew of over 100 people to coordinate on an idea and sort of the procedural aspects of how they get done, I feel like I need to share that stuff with you. And I realize, like, whenever you're going to do an undertaking, it's always best to do an outline on paper. Even if you're going to do like a commercial, like for example, I have a commercial that I'm going to work on for the Grave. I have footage and I have an idea of what I want, and I could kind of go sit down and throw it together. But what I learned from Mattel is maybe writing down the key points, writing a script that reinforces that, flipping that script to make it entertaining, and then go and cut it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's sometimes the slow sauce way is the right way. We've talked about slow sauce before. The slow sauce way might be the right ways. And to do jazz is fun too, because everybody's surprised. But when something has to be filled with information and retainable information, sometimes it's best to do slow sauce. Snatch, leg kick. Call your father, man. That's good. What up, Blacklist Universe? How are you, sir? Oh, Mitchell Coleman saying don't do newsprint. Don't do newsprint. Don't let Rooster Puncher see that. Yeah, see, like I said, I'm back and forth, and part of me feels like there's a compromise in there somewhere. You know, it's not 100% a newsprint thing. I know I don't want it to be glossy, shiny paper. I know what I don't want it to be. Okay, I don't want it to look like a new comic. I don't like the look of new comics. Shiny paper is not my vibe. No knock at anybody that uses it, but like I said yesterday, if you want full immersion into a comic, the last thing you need is glare. You know, it reminds you you're looking at paper, whereas something like newsprint or the old Image comics, they were uncoated, so all of the colors, all of the artwork were hitting you in a way that it was full immersion. So I know I don't want glossy paper. Let's see, I thought you said Snatch first. I like that movie. That was a good movie. Guy Ritchie sometimes is hit or miss with me, but I like Snatch. Lock, Stock is good. I liked his Sherlock Holmes. I think he's got a new one coming out here pretty soon. I forget what it's called, but I always check it out. I think the only thing I didn't like that he did was when he put his then wife Madonna in one of his movies, because I'm not I'm a fan of her music, not a fan of her acting. Let me go get excuse me, itchy eyes. Get the iPad in a second. Let's see what you got. It's your call, man. Do premium paper and charge like 1,000%. It's what the market loves. I'm not gonna charge 1,000%. It doesn't smell the same. What up, Armando Mendoza? How are you, man? Welcome to the Boom Room with the dudes. That's you guys. Any guys, gals that are in the somebody called it the Boom Room because I'm your host, Fragaboom. But yeah, and it doesn't smell the same. But again, I think something that gets beat over our heads in the entertainment industry is always serve the story, right? Obviously, the reality of it is budget dictates everything, right? But that said, this is something I'd like you guys to think about regarding budget constraints. When money's tight, creative problem solving comes to the rescue. And creative problem solving creates those unexpected moments that are exciting. So if you take a movie like the first Matrix, where they didn't have an incredible amount of money, versus the second one where they had a lot more money and they solved their problems with money, you get a difference, not in the quality of the materials used or the quality of the cameras or the quality of the CG, but an overall quality of it essentially as a whole. You know, I find that sometimes lower budgets create better products, which is kind of an interesting thing. But for me, like I said, my main goal is to cover the costs. Like I would like to, if I can make my page rate, which isn't a lot, pay Matt's page rate, Adelso's page rate, Ken's page rate, the printing bill, the fulfillment bill, and for the stuff, the decoder, there's going to be a decoder. I guess I should tell you guys, there's going to be a decoder, a coin, the ash can, the things that actually cost money. If I can cover it, then I'm good. The 1,000% thing, I'm not trying to do that. I just want to have sustainability, and that's the main idea. I think that everybody's going for sustainability. That it's enough to produce the thing, and also pay for your time while you're there, because doing comics is a full-time job, and I make plenty of money doing storyboards and don't need comics. But if I need to do Black Flag, I have that that urge, that itch inside me. It's the same thing that happened with The Grave. I call it an itch because it literally like nags at you if you don't create. At least for me, it does. Let's see, shiny paper. I never saw the King Arthur. I'm gonna have to check that out. Who's that girl? No, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. Kind of trying to figure out what made DC change the paper quality a few months ago. I'm not sure, man. It could be a price point thing. I haven't had my my head down. The ash cans I'm doing are on 50-pound uncoated. Yeah, the ash cans back in the day that we used to do were done on that premium Kinko shit. It was literally copy paper and a good cover. The ones that were kind of pricey though is when Jim Lee actually got his printed. All the stuff that we did with Extreme was all Kinko stuff. So, you know, and that you kind of want the ash can to be a little imperfect, being what it is, you know. If anything, you could probably do a print of ash cans on your home, depending on a certain printer. What up, Broadwell? How are you, dude? Okay, we're at 56 minutes. I'm gonna go grab the iPad, load us into the app, interwebs as they call it, and draw for you. Let's see, gotta slide that down. Start the broadcast. Add it in. Here we are. In we go. Oops. Sorry about that. You can't be seeing that. Ah, man. Yeah, Jim had the really good ash cans. Jim's ash cans, like the one for Fantastic Four, Team 7, Iron Man, all the stuff he was doing. His ash cans were quite the incredible ash cans. All right, so Catch. I have this character that I call Lovebot, and he's always looking for love. So I think maybe what we'll do is draw him. Because I haven't drawn him in a while. And he's always slightly different each time. I figure a robot, one of the things about being a robot would be that your parts, you could constantly be upgrading, or if in his case, repairing, because he's always running into misadventure. He's one of my favorite creations because he's slightly autobiographical, I guess. I mean, we all feel like this at times, I believe, where we misunderstand love, or especially in my younger years, there were so many times that the one that I wanted didn't want me, and the ones that wanted me I didn't want, and just the funny things that happen in love. So that's his name. Halloween. Mitchell, So we just moved, not just, we moved to Georgia last October, and we're really impressed with the South for a few reasons. Like our old neighborhood in California was mostly like doctors and lawyers, and when I say that, I mean like retired. So it was an older community, and it was on a golf course estate, and we would fill the bucket, go out to my stepson's dad's neighborhood because that's where good stuff was, and then we would come back to our house to have a completely full bucket, you know, and that was because there were no kids in our neighborhood. So what was great about this neighborhood is that it's filled with kids, like tons of kids, and they have this like clubhouse at the bottom of our hill for the I guess, what do you call that? We live in a, I don't know what they call that. It's like a community, but each of the communities has little subdivisions, like housing divisions and stuff. But we have like a little clubhouse, and everybody that lives in the community, all their kids, they show up. And we saw this last year. They all show up in costume, and they do a little parade. They walk like a half a mile up the hill, and it ends at this haunted house. This guy's been doing this haunted house for several years, and they have jello shots and such for the adults, and like candies for the kids in the haunted house, and they're playing, you know, Ghostbusters and Monster Mash and all that stuff, and it's just been like kind of, you know, not Stepford Wives, but like, you know, weird in that way, especially how different it was from where we came from. You know, everybody was nice, and there were kids everywhere, and there's community, and you know, you're looking around for like the hidden camera. It's sometimes it gets so idyllic, and even at Christmas time, they have Santa come down to the clubhouse. You don't go to the mall, you go down to the clubhouse, and you see Santa at the clubhouse, which is just weird, you know. Quiet, doing that broken heart. He wears his broken heart on his sleeve. Always has a question mark on his head because he knows nothing. If you guys have seen some of the posts I've put over the years with this character, you'll see that he's always having bad luck. Not bad luck, just never finding love, or having very close calls but never quite getting it. You guys feel free to ask questions if you'd like. I think I have a pretty clear idea of what this guy's going to be doing and what he's going to look like. So I think I'll be able to process any sort of questions you guys have, and be quite happy to do it. So on that He-Man page, all I have left is some backgrounds. What did you think of Bloodstrike book by Michel Fife? What up, Luke? I liked it. I mean, it was definitely different. You know, it wasn't the Bloodstrike that I drew, but there's an energy to Fife's stuff that I dig, and he definitely exists in that unexpected realm. You know, I guess you could say I liked it. You know, definitely interesting. You know, that's what I would have to say about it. I mean, I know it was, what do they call it? Polarized opinions. That when either you love it or you hate it. I saw a lot of comments saying, "What the hell is this?" and "Look like a child drew it," and blah blah blah. But like, no, man. Clearly, he's not a child. I think he has really solid comic book instincts, and like, I don't know. I liked it. I'm gonna bring him down a little bit because I need more room if I'm gonna extend this leg back in the way I want to. Beat Street or Break In? Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Break In because I liked Ozone and Turbo and all those guys, and I thought the girl in Break In, I thought she was hot. And of course, you can't go wrong with Break In 2 Electric Boogaloo. But I liked them both. You know, I can say those are two that I liked them both. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Those are kind words. Hopefully, it'll finish out the way I'm seeing it in my head. He's one of those guys I really enjoy drawing this character because, like I said, he's a little bit of me in there. I think, and that little bit of me, I think, is in everybody. That's why I feel like he's a relatable character. You know, because we've all been in situations where we're chasing something. You know, and like him. The thing with him is like I said, the thing that I think really kind of says the most about him is like one of the cartoons I have in my mind for him is this he's walking along whistling, and then he hears the whistling the same way he's whistling. And he looks, and it's a lovebird mimicking his whistling, and then they start playing a game of copycat, and as soon as the bird does something original, and the robot decides to copy the bird, but the robot also puts a heart in his song. He puts a little heart in his song. The bird runs off. The bird says, "Nah, I'm out. Thank you, D. Are you taking off, man? So you notice what I did here, maybe, is I've got on this foot here, you're seeing the top side of it, and then this foot you're seeing the top side of it, and it's because I'm saying the perspective is like this. So this is the crossover line. You're going to see the tops of everything this side and the tops of everything that side. As it approaches this line, it flattens out. That's how we're doing perspective. Have a good coffee time, dude. Be well, man. Go. Go. Some more shading in here. Oh. All right, do we have any other questions today? Oh man, cherry pie, man, that would be good. I love apple pie if it's good. Lemon meringue pie is pretty damn good too. See, now I want to make this leg slightly longer. So we're going to do that. I'm going to find a good break point. There it is. Sometimes things look right or not. There we go. Bam. So what made you want to come back and do Black Flag and not another creator-owned creation? I will give you the shortest answer I can. Michael Green. How you like that? Mike Green is the reason. He put it in my head. Like I can say without exaggeration, I have about 20 different creator-owned ideas, some of which are more developed than others. And Black Flag is, an older one of my ideas. And I had some stories batting around for Black Flag for a while, and the more I would doodle the characters and they'd come around, the more I would think about them. But yeah, kind of like the mindset, Mitchell. I like your question because the mindset is like people have seen Black Flag from me. I should do something new. But then when Mike Green reached out to me and said you should do Black Flag again, you should do, bring it back out, people want it. I said, all right, and the story, like I said, kind of wrote itself once I had something to say with the story. The story kind of wrote itself. Jesse, how are you? Hopping on real quick to say thank you from Emerson for the birthday shout out. We are excited, but going to bed. Big day tomorrow. We'll watch tomorrow. It's good to see you. I know she's 11. 11's an awesome age. Thank you for stopping in. Have a good night and have a great day tomorrow. Halloween is a fun time. I have a lot of good memories regarding Halloween. A lot of crazy memories, in fact. All right. So one of the things I like to do for motion, right, is if I put like little blades of grass flying like this, bloop bloop, and then even erase out a couple of spots to do some overlap, because we like that one. Overlap is one of my favorite of the depth cues. Do this, put that horizon in there. Put a flower or two. I always end up putting flowers with this guy because love and flowers. Isn't that how the song goes? Just kidding. Flowers is part of his iconography. I usually include grass and flowers. And this will be sort of a companion piece. There's one of the pieces that I drew. I'll show it to you. Yeah, Mr. Green, it's your fault, man. It's all your fault. So check this out. If I go to Couchdoodles.com, here, look at this. Here's some stuff. We don't need you to buy any of this stuff, but it's available if you want it. But there are things like this is him. This is that guy we're drawing right now, and that's just like a backpack that you could get. But then there's also, if I remember correctly, there used to be original art. I don't know what happened. New to old. Let's do that. I guess the artwork's not on there anymore. I used to have something available with the character where he was reaching for a butterfly, except the arm he was reaching for was completely broken off. So it was kind of one of those that longing sensation that we get where we don't quite get the thing. It's just out of our reach, that sort of thing. That's the feeling that I wanted from that piece. So I feel like this one is almost a companion to it in some way. Like maybe he's still chasing them, or maybe this is the one before he chased it so much that he lost his arm in the process. I don't know. Let's do this. This is how we do digital like this because we can. It's funny too because my son will say things like, "That's cheating, Dad." Like using digital tools. Dad, that's cheating. You copy and pasted that. Like, yeah, but I copy pasted my own drawing. Yeah, but you should draw it again. Like, yeah, but if it's a bullet shell, You know, let's be a little easier on your pop there, boy. You know, but no, digital is an excellent tool. You know, now I'm just thinking about composition and giving this thing a different bit of weight and little bit of just almost getting it. Here we go. That's it. I think we got it. $10, $30, $19, catch. So there we go. That is our guy. What up, Peter? A more serious 1 to 2 hour interview, yeah. I think that would be good. I think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, I don't even know what the 15 Minutes of Fame show is. I think I need to see it. I know I agreed to it because I like you, and I will say yes. I say yes to you on sights unseen because I trust you and I like you. So yes, I'll do it. Well, I got to figure out the day. I just know the next 2 weeks, my deadline on He-Man 3 is the 11th, which I informed my editor that I'll probably need a couple extra days. I had it while on this deadline right now. My son had a birthday. Harrison had his birthday, as you guys know, on the 20th. My stepson's birthday is the 2nd. I have Halloween tomorrow. I have a small surgery on the 9th. Then I'm up in Knoxville on the 16th. Then the comic comes out the 20th. That's when we're doing that. So I would say probably the week before our interview would be the best time, I think. And the best times are usually when my kids are at school. So noon is always good too. You know, lunchtime is good. And you gotta let me know if it's on camera or off camera, because if it's on camera, I won't eat my lunch. Hey man, how's it going? Yeah, I'm eating salmon and kale, because that's what I've been making. But lately, I get this really good salmon at Sam's Club. Salmon at Sam's. There's a nice alliteration to that. But you know, you could look at, they have like 5 different ones. I don't get them marinated, but there's like a Alaskan salmon, and then there's Atlantic salmon, and there's different salmons. But anyway, when it comes to cooking salmon, I have a very specific way, and I've been doing it since I was a kid. Is obviously, you know, you pre-butter the broil pan and whatnot, but I'm constantly adding spices and butter and lemon juice throughout the entire process. And because I'm cooking from frozen, it takes about 45 minutes. So one of the things I've been doing lately is I will cook 3 and then just eat them in a row. Don't know why I brought that up, other than I'm eating a lot of salmon and kale lately. What up, Joel? How are you, dude? I'm glad she enjoyed the shout out. Jesse stopped by a few minutes ago. What's up, Rusty? Okay, on camera and live, that's fine. I'll eat my lunch beforehand. I'll eat my lunch beforehand. Maybe I'll have a mid-afternoon beer. Or maybe I'll quit drinking altogether. You know, a lot of the stuff I'm reading about, you know, if you want to get to the best version of yourself, a lot of it doesn't include sugar, which I've cut mostly out. Some of the bars that I eat, I like Kind bars, the almond ones, a lot, but there's sugar in it. I like beets. I put them in my salad. Those have sugar, but I generally don't eat too much candy anymore. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink any of that stuff. But like wine has sugar and alcohol has sugar. So anyhow, Dijon mustard with breadcrumbs. So good on salmon. Heck yeah, It is. It is. I don't really breadcrumb anything anymore. I love Dijon mustard. That's a great idea. In fact, I think I might do the Dijon mustard on my salmon tomorrow. That I will take you up on that. I've been taking fresh mango and mincing it up and having sort of like a mango chutney. That word. There are certain words in vocabulary that whenever I hear them, I crack up. And chutney is one of those words. My buddy Josh, I talk about him every now and then. He's one of the guys I interviewed, a guy named Josh Keaton. He's a world-class voiceover artist, was a former boy band member, one of my best friends. I married him and his wife. I've known Josh for almost as long as I've known Yaki. One of the things we do is we just have silly things like what words bother you. Like there's a place when you drive from California to Vegas called Yermo. That word bothers him. Yermo. Like it's like Dane Cook doing his comedy skit on the word moist. How it offends certain people, and he said it's not the word moist, it's the sound oist. So there's certain things like zizix is another one when you're going out to Vegas. Which reminds me, we used to play this game. Have you guys ever played the movie game? It could be a movie game, it could be comic book characters, it can be whatever, but it's a good way to kill time on a road trip. And what you do, let's say you name a movie like Star Wars, whatever that title movie ends with, this case is another S, you would have to do another movie that starts with that. So I would say Serpico. You go, oh, I gotta do one that starts with an O. On Golden Pond, ooh, one that starts with D. Deadpool, one that starts with L. So, hours go by. But what was always funny is when we get to the Y's. Like if a movie ends in Y, there's like maybe 4, 5 movies that start with Y. Yentl being another one that comes out. Yentl is another word like chutney that I find hilarious to say. Talking about no sugar before Halloween is mean. Don't I know it? But you know what's kind of interesting? You made me think of something, Kevlar. It's that I find that this time of year, and I've been journaling again. Like I said, I've kept a journal since 1986. There have only been 3 years that don't have entries. 2007 doesn't, 2013 doesn't, and 2014 doesn't. 2014 I can chalk that up to because I was full blown into the grave. 2013 was because I was working at Mattel and not working at home and didn't have the journal or didn't bring it into it. But what I noticed is a lot of the journal entries are roughly around this time of year. And what I realized about it was that daylight savings time I always felt like was a jump start, right? Like if you go, oh, I gotta work out in the morning, how am I gonna do it? It's so hard to wake up that extra hour early, blah, blah, blah. But then when the time changes over, like this time it's on Sunday, for those of you who have ovens or car clocks that you have to change. Our phones do it on their own, and our cable boxes do it on their own, but it's the 3rd. Anyhow, I always feel like, wait a second, waking up. I generally wake up around 5 something. I'd like to wake up at 4:30 like I did when I was doing the grave. Well, now waking up at 4:30 feels like the old 5:30, so therefore I can do it. And it always felt like a turbocharge. So while making a no sugar claim around Halloween is very mean, I will also say that we have that jump start right afterwards, which is very exciting. Chutney. Chutney makes good sauce. What else did I have on here that I wanted to show you? Yeah, so I wanted to show you, this is Anti-He-Man. You guys have seen some of the color pictures of Masters of the Multiverse. They're online, colored by the great Matt Yaki. So you got to see our villain, and this is him. His name is Anti-He-Man, and he is going from world to world, different dimensions, and attempting to take the power swords. and the powers of Grayskull, so he could be the most powerful man in the multiverses. That comes out on the 20th, and it's very exciting stuff. Really thrilled. I can't wait to see Matt's colors on issue 2, since I guess they came in today. And then issue 3, I'm busting away, working hard on it, drawing a lot of characters. I asked Tim Seeley if he was trying to kill me, and he chuckled. All right, we are at an hour and 30 exactly, which is usually our cutoff. So what I'm going to do right now is say, let's open it up for some questions. If you guys have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. Or if you guys have any topics you want to talk about, I'd be more happy to talk about it. I really enjoy answering the questions, and I'll tell you why. I find that when I was directing or when I was teaching, when I got questions of stuff that I felt like I innately knew, but I had to explain, it made me evaluate the whole process. And it was very refreshing, and I find it exciting and helpful for my personal growth. And like for me, man, like that, like I said, Chauncey looked up, what up, L. Raj? What is the best Transformer movie, and why is it Transformers the movie? Cause you got the touch, you got the power, yeah. I think because much like other movies of the 80s, that movie really stuck it to us 80s kids. First time, and I hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but when you see Optimus Prime die, that rocks your world. And that soundtrack was badass, but that rocks your world. You don't, it was like Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones, where you like, wait a second, what the fuck did I just see? Pardon my French, but what was that? Rocked your world. Love it. So it is that. Let's see. Who's my favorite comic inker? It comes in 2 parts, Mitchell. My favorite comic inker of all time would be Terry Austin. My favorite inker working now, who I feel like he's like Terry Austin meets old Art to Bear meets Scott Williams, and his name is Adelso Corona. He was in our chat earlier, and I feel very, very, very blessed to have him on board on Black Flag. So I get my favorite inker on me. So that you have it, man. Will Orko be a part of the He-Man project? Anthony, great question. I am drawing Orko in this issue. There's your answer. That soundtrack, Orson Welles, Judd, yep, exactly. I cried when Optimus died. What kid didn't, right? Like, what was that? What was it, 86? Was it 86, 85, 86? I was like 12, 13 years old. You know, already catching feels, breaking into, you know, maturity and feeling all grown up, and then they go and kill Optimus Prime. That is a way to rock a kid's world. So crying happened for sure. Any other questions? Any birthdays today? I think it's my friend Dan Norton's birthday today. Dan Norton, he works over at Riot Games on League of Legends. Really cool dude. You should check him out. I'm not sure what his Instagram is called. I forget. But I'm sure if you search for Dan Norton, you'll find him. Do we have any other questions? As you can see, I'm winding down. This wine hasn't hurt my head, but obviously I haven't drank it that much. Found a copy of Captain America and Falcon 154 at a yard sale yesterday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hold on a second. I remember I said I was going to break out a comic or two. I just wanted to show you guys. We were talking about our friend Andre. Also, some other appearances of Black Flag that I didn't know existed. They were more on a sort of, I wouldn't go and call it an appearance per se. Have you guys remember this? This Image Comics, 1994. Okay. I'm gonna get the other camera out so we can look at it. A la Fragaboom Vision. So here it is, Image Comics 94 with a very fantastic Jeff Matsuda cover, inked by Art Bear. Fantastic. So this thing goes in alphabetical order, and I was just shocked to see Black Flag one shot. The reason why is it this is out before the book was out, right? And it calls it what I called it the other day. Black Flag is a pilot book. We only did the one without any sort of anticipation of any others unless it did well. And it tells you all about it. It was 48 pages. I was the writer, penciler, inker. Here's your letterer. It was a one-shot, summer of '94. Gives you a little bit about the creative team and the marketing. So I had forgotten that there was an appearance of Black Flag in this book. So that was kind of a fun little find that my buddy Christian Miller hooked me up with. We had a bunch of other things. I showed you Image Plus and a couple other things. Art of Homage Studios. Homage was Wildstorm before it was called Wildstorm. Some people know that, some people don't. So what I have here is Prophet going up to number 10 right here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to open up number 10 because it's polybagged. I ended up having to look at it on readcomics.to. But as you know, I'm an advocate for being able to see those comics online and having digital copies of those comics. But please, 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 with sugar on top, go get the book itself if you can. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you guys here. So you guys, one of our regulars that we have pop up in here is a guy named Andre Kromov. But a lot of you Extreme fans would know him under this name right here, Dre. So this excellent iconographic cover by Stephen Platt was colored by Couchdoodles gangster slash regular slash team member Andre Kromov. Here's another iconographic Stephen Platt cover. Bam, Dre again. So I just want, he hasn't been coloring in a while, and I just keep having to remind him of how dope he is, and that he did some killer stuff. Dan, I think it's time to bring the band back together, meaning get the old Image dudes back for one final thing. They can't say no. You're on a mission from God. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what you mean about get the Image guys together. If you mean like Image United or some of those other things, that's all them. And like, it's never, I can't say never say never, but it's not going to be like it was. Jim Lee sold to DC. So, Jim Lee is DC now. Todd will always be Todd. Rob will always be Rob. Eric will always be Eric, and so forth and so on. But getting those guys to put something together. I think it almost happened this past year, but then it didn't, and I don't know. As far as getting the band together, getting Matt Yackey on board, he was my colorist on the gear station, and that's where Matt and I started working together. So that is getting band back together, getting Adelso. I've known Adelso since back in the 95, 96. Way back in the day before he was inking. He was just doing his own pencils and stuff. So getting him on board, that's the team I'm most excited about. Platt was crazy on that too, yes. We need Andre's color tutorial. We need to film that and put it on the show. I bought 4 of those 10 bundles for $5 at Ollie's. Found a few gems in there, a couple burned Superman, some image including Stormwatch Zero Supreme issue 2 among others. Love Platt. Whoa, is that Dre? Yes, I have that Splat poster. How many copies were printed of these? L. Raj, man, I wish I could answer. The numbers really fluctuated a whole bunch back in the day. Excuse me. I know what the Black Flag preview edition sold back in the day. It sold 83,000 copies, and nowadays the #1 comic, stuff in the top 5 don't hit that. So numbers are weird. I would probably say gather, if I had to guess, but don't quote me on it, probably 100,000 maybe, being that it was like 94, 95-ish. I would say those numbers were up there. Way more than 40K. Way more than 40K. I think there would be a way to find out if, I'm not sure if Diamond Distribution prints their old numbers or has a record of their old numbers. 400K, no, not 400K. Probably more around the 200-ish area, but I'm not 100% certain. Any other questions? I know you say Mr. 83K. Thank you, El Raj. I was the #1 selling black and white comic of that year, which was kind of cool. I no other reason other than it was a one shot and whatever, but I outsold Sin City that year, which is weird to say, but that in a quarter can't get me a phone call. The old, remember those old sayings my dad would say, that in a quarter will get you a cup of coffee. Now it's like, no cup of coffee. That was destined for failure. Which one was destined for failure, Mr. Yackey? My brain is so shot right now. I don't know what I was talking about. Were you talking about profit, or I don't know. My brain is broken right now. Anyhow, you guys have been awesome. We do have time for one last question, or suggestions. That's the other thing. And again, yesterday I showed you guys for the first time. I showed you the Black Flag pins. Over on Facebook, it got a little crazy. People wanted to know how to get them. How do I get them? How do I get them? I'm trying to figure that out. I need you guys' help in that way. I know I want to give some. I'm going to allocate probably 20 for maybe even less, maybe only 10 for the next 2 shows I'm doing, and they'll be handed out special, and it'll be almost like what Rooster Puncher has told me. There's something called a challenge coin. It's anybody that has a Black Flag pin, especially the one with a little gold doodle or whatever I'm going to put on the back. That means you're part of the beginnings of this new iteration, this new resurgence of the Black Flag. So you guys, I think one of the things that could happen is sharing. Could be other things. I have no idea. I got to figure it out. Like I said, I only have 50 of them. If I ship them out, I can do that. I got to figure out a way to get a mailing list going, perhaps, where I say, hey, you know, that maybe that's what I'll do. Get a mailing list. You sign up to the mailing list and you put your info in, and then I send you a thing. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Dan, what passion projects do you have in the back of your brain? Well, Black Flag. The Black Flag project after Black Flag that I can't say. This other book I have called Switch. There was another one that I was working on. In fact, I was working on it 10 years ago with a guy you might have heard of. His name is Robert Kirkman. He was going to be my partner on the book, but I ended up directing Gervais, and Walking Dead took off for him, and the rest is history. But I have this concept called Big Time, which is it's about some sort of event, whether it's like a Hadron Collider like we have, or something to that degree, some sort of mistake that we caused shrunk the human race down to the size of like a Star Wars action figure, about 5 inches. Okay, shrunk us all. Nothing else was affected. No shrunken animals. No shrunken anything. Just us. We didn't even fit in our clothes. You know, we're all shrunk. Nobody was safe. It just happened. So this story takes place roughly 20 years after that happened. So we get to see a world that has been overgrown. Crops have overgrown because there's no one to run the tractors. We have people still in denial that live in doll houses and are trying to live how life used to be. You have a whole generation of people born small and have no clue of what it was like to be big. They only know, you know, there are a bunch of 18, 19, you know, it's 20 years later, but a whole generation that has no idea what it was like. They refer to anybody that was alive during that time as big timers, or that time as big time. That's why the name of the book is Big Time. And there's different threats, obviously, like feral animals, and you know, we still can train house cats, and anyway, there's that world. But the story behind this story is that whatever that thing was that caused the rift is also able to, kind of like 12 Monkeys, be a time machine, but it can only send small things back. And it's so specific that it has to be like a small person. So it's like a young person and a smaller other person, and they go back in time to big time. So we have little people in big world trying to find out how this happened, how they could fix it. They're only there to gather information, not to screw up the time and space continuum, so they could come back and potentially fix it. Obviously, you can see I'm a little inspired by 12 Monkeys there. But that's one of them. It's called Big Time, and I don't know when I'm going to do it. But like I said, I've got like 20. I've got like 20 ideas. I have this other one called The Hole. It's about these kids who go out and play, and they fall in a hole, and inside the hole there are these doors. And each of the doors leads to worlds, and each of those worlds has another hole with doors in it. And they end up getting lost and have to go through a series of tasks to find their way back, and go through riddles to know which door to go through to get home, because they end up getting completely lost. And it's called The Holes. Anyway, you asked, those are some of them. All right, let's see. What? Passion Project? Image United, yeah. Bruh. Can you explain the origin of Bloodstrike 25 cover? Because I've seen you post an original that looks like the original cover minus some alterations. Chauncey Blakely always coming in with the good questions, and that was a very well-informed question. The one that you've seen, the artwork, the one that I posted after, if I remember correctly, was a commission. Somebody wanted a recreation of that cover, but just him. That's what I remember. So that's the story. Rob had penciled the first one. I had inked all of that issue over Rob's breakdowns, which was a lot of fun. Like, that's the thing, is like, one of the other pieces of my comic book DNA is working with Rob, and I always felt like our combo was something special because I'm not what you would call a gifted inker, but I am one of those guys, not unlike Todd or Kevin Nolan, for example, or someone like Barry Smith. When we ink someone else, our style inevitably meshes in there, and I feel like Rob and I have that. I used it earlier, that chocolate and peanut butter. We got the chocolate and peanut butter thing where something new happens, and it's pretty cool. So I will always enjoy inking Rob. And he's inked me on a couple occasions. It's not often. He's inking the cover of Black Flag 1 with some Todd McFarlane in there as well, because they're going to be bursting through the old cover. So we're going to have a Liefeld McFarlane Frega extravaganza, which makes the 16-year-old in me giddy as all heck. But that's the answer to that question, Chauncey. I hope that helped. Anyway, I am starting to fade. I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching this installment of Couchdoodles Live. Inktober edition, the word was catch. I'm your host, Fragaboom, comic book veteran of 28 years. It's crazy to say that. 28 years. Come November, actually, it's 27 years and change, but come November, it'll be 28 years. You guys be good to each other. I will see you tomorrow for the word ripe, after the kids have their Halloween parade and all that. Let's cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't rain. You guys be good. I will see you guys later tomorrow.